There have been a lot of videos lately about how terrible and how unreliable the charging network is when it comes to an electric car that is not a Tesla. Something like this Mercedes EQS behind me that uses a CCS connector here in Europe that is not reliant on the Tesla network. In places across the world, you can't even charge this on a Tesla charger. Here in Norway, you can charge them on about 1/3 of the Tesla superchargers, but there have been so many videos from across, the United States, from the UK lately, about how terrible owning and driving and traveling with an electric car is, especially now with cold weather. You have snowstorms in the US, snowstorms in the UK, and as you guys can see from behind me here in Oslo, we also have snow. So the big question is, how terrible is the charging network, the situation, how full are chargers here in Norway, here in Oslo, which is arguably the best place to own an electric car anywhere in the world, and a place that is probably about 10 years ahead of any country when it comes to EV infrastructure. So that's what we're going to find out in today's video. We're going to take this EQS around Oslo, around the outside of Oslo, and just explore a little bit the charging network and chargers and find out for ourselves. If you're new here, my name is Chris and I live in Oslo, Norway, and I have this channel dedicated to testing EVs and talking about EV topics like this. So if you like electric cars and EV content, please be sure to drop a thumbs up on the video down below. But if you are new here, you may not know that Norway is actually the EV capital of the world. Something like 90% of new cars sold in 2022 are battery electric, not even including hybrid. So if you include hybrids, I think the number is something like 95%. So basically, nobody buys internal combustion engine cars in Norway. And of all the cars on the road, I think about 20%, almost 600,000 cars, are fully electric. That's all cars, sold in the past also. So that means the charging network in Norway is pretty extensive, and we have, DC fast chargers, we have AC slow chargers just about everywhere. But, as more people buy electric cars, that is more strain on the network. And I have noticed a trend this winter, the past 2 weeks, when it's been really cold here in and around Oslo, that a lot of DC fast chargers have been occupied. Today is the day before New Year's, and it seems to be a little bit calmer outside, so I don't think we're going to run into too much traffic today. But it's still very interesting to take a look and see, because in Oslo, the city of Oslo, there are around 270 DC fast chargers. That's a city of about 700,000 people. And in the metropolitan area of Oslo, which is about twice as big, or more than twice as big, 1.5 million people, there are around 1,500 DC fast chargers. So it is pretty interesting. So we're going to go to a place where about 10-12 kilometers outside of Oslo now. We're going to go to a local charging station here and see, are there any chargers vacant and do they work? Rolling up to the first charging station, we are at this Coppola charging station outside of Oslo, right next to a place called Nadderudhallen. So they have 6 of these AC chargers, as you guys can see here, and about 3 of them are occupied. So that's 50% occupancy rate. And these are 22 kilowatt chargers, though very few cars actually have a 22 kilowatt onboard charger. Then we have about 3 of these Delta chargers here, which can split a charge between 2 cars. So you can charge 6 cars here on these lightning chargers, and I think the green one to the far left is 120 kilowatts, the one in the middle is 150 kilowatts, and this one to the right is 180 kilowatts. And if you connect 2 cars on these chargers, you're going to split the charge between 2 cars. So about half of these are also occupied. So 50% of these are occupied, and checking, it looks like all of them are actually working. The one to the left actually has 4 connectors, that green one over there. But let's take a look at the app here. And this is what the app looks like. So you can see the CCS one here is, the quickest one is 180 kilowatts. So if we take a look here, how do we open these? There we go. Okay, so one of these is 125 kilowatt, is occupied. This CCS connector is actually not working. But you can see this CHAdeMO connector here. So the CCS there is working, this CHAdeMO is not working, but on the other side, the CCS and the CHAdeMO is working. So you're still going to be able to charge a car with a CHAdeMO connector here. So all of them seem to be working. So only one of those 4. So I don't know, a total of 6 plus 6 plus 4. Yeah, so one of those are not working. Our next charging station here is westbound on the E18 motorway out of Oslo, right next to this EX 711 station and to this BMW dealer here. So this is a Recharge charging station. And full disclosure, guys, Recharge is one of my main sponsors here on the channel. They are not sponsoring this video, but I don't want to try to make this to a Recharge video, but they probably have the most chargers around Oslo. So these are quite new. So you have two of these Alpatronics hyperchargers, 150 kilowatts each, and all the connectors are green, which should mean they are working. I'm not going to back up here because there's a Tesla backing up here. So all of these are it seems like all of these are working. So they have two of these 150 kilowatt chargers, 75 kilowatt modules. So that means if you're going to connect the car, you're going to get 75 kilowatts, you know, completely independent of how quickly your car will actually charge if there's another car charging. And then you have two of these older 50 kilowatt chargers. So actually looks like everything is working here. The screen is green on this one, and the screen is green on that one also. So all of these seem to be working. So here, 100% vacancy. That's pretty awesome. The third charging station is actually quite close to the city center of Oslo. We're in a place called Kiellandsplass now. It's about a 10-minute walk down to, well, the city center of Oslo. So we have this Circle K station, which is quite hidden here inside or below this building. And then on the far side over here, we have a few chargers, and I haven't been here for a while, but yeah, these are always often really occupied. So actually, this is new. Check this out, guys. They have 300 kilowatt chargers now. This is pretty cool. So these are Circle K chargers. So I think you have 4 chargers here. You can see this poster here is probably queuing for charging, but yeah. So all of these are occupied. So this is 100% occupancy rate, but getting 150 kilowatt splitting, no, 2 of these 300 kilowatt chargers. So getting 150 kilowatt each, yeah, that is pretty good for being a charging station this close to the city of Oslo. There are other few charging stations here. No, wait, they have even more. Check this out. So 6 cars can charge here. And one of these are actually, no, this is not working. Check this out. So this has some tape on it. That's why that Polestar's parked up there. So 1 out of these 6 chargers here are not working. And this is an ABB charger. I think these 300 kilowatt chargers over here are actually Delta chargers. So yeah, So as I was saying, this charging station is really interesting because it's close to the city center, and these are lightning chargers. I mean, 250 kilowatt chargers and 2 300 kilowatt chargers that split the charge between 2 cars, effectively, you know, giving 6 cars 150 kilowatts. This close to the center of Oslo, that is really interesting. There are a few charging stations close to, you know, the city center of Oslo, but most of them are 50 kilowatt chargers. Very few of them are really fast like this. So yeah, let's go to the next charging station. It's going to be an interesting one. For this next charging station, I was actually thinking of filming this outside of the car, but when I got here, I remember that this is the main road. This is the E18 motorway right above us here. So yeah, there's going to be a lot of noise. But okay, we are at a Coppola charging station now in Sandvika, right next to the beach. This is a nice place to charge if you're going to the beach. So they have 1, 2, 3, 4 of these AC chargers, and then they have 1 Delta charger there that can split the charge between 2. That's 150 kilowatts. Or these green ones are 125, I'm guessing. No, 150, no, 125. So they have 3 of these 125 kilowatt chargers. So 2 of them are occupied. And then over here, they have 1, 2, 3, 4 of these 200 kilowatt chargers. So this charging station here has, yeah, really nice capacity. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 cars you can do AC, no, DC fast charging. So that is pretty darn nice. This is a BKK charging station about 20 kilometers west of Oslo. So what is interesting here is that they have 3 of these Delta chargers, which can give 150 kilowatts split between 2 charging points, so 75 kilowatts each. So you have 350 kilowatt chargers, or you have 6 75 kilowatt charging points, and then you have 2 50 kilowatt chargers over there. So a total of 8. This is pretty awesome, and there's only 1 car charging here, plus my car, I'm not charging, but yeah, pretty good vacancy. So yeah, the next charging station here in this video is a very familiar one, but a one that we haven't visited in a while. This is where I usually did my Motorway range tests a while back, more than a year ago, 1.5 years ago. So here we have quite a few chargers and different providers. Ah, but they've changed up things. Okay, so to the left here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 Circle K chargers. But there were other chargers here before, weren't they? So 8 of them, 2 of them are 50 kilowatts, and 6 of them are 150 kilowatts. And then we should have some recharge chargers over here. But I'm pretty sure that we had more chargers before, like a third provider next to those Circle K chargers. I may be mistaken, but I think that is correct. So we have recharge chargers over here. And this also doesn't seem to be, yeah, maybe it's a little bit updated. Yeah, you have 2 50 kilowatts, 3 50 kilowatts, 5 50 kilowatt chargers over here. So a total of, that's not working, that one over there. So one of these 50 kilowatt chargers are not working. And, oh, it's just a little bit slippery here. One of these are not working, but all of those over there seem to be working. So a total of 8 plus 13, so 12 out of 13 working, which is not, I mean, that's not bad. Heading back towards Oslo now. We're now southbound on the E6 motorway. Last station was northbound. We come to Alna and the Esso station over here, and this is pretty cool. So I'm going to show you, and I don't want to make this just a recharge video, but recharge really is dominant in Oslo. I skipped, you know, like 10 recharge charging stations I could have shown you guys. So if we do a right here, this Esso station is split. So on the other side here is another main road where you can only access the other side from the road over there. From the motorway, you can only access this side. So here they have 1, 2, 3, 4 Chem-power chargers. These are really cool. So these are 150 kilowatts each. And all of them are working, all of them are green. And then you have 1, 2, 3, 4 other here that they have, you know, here they have, these are brand new. They have replaced the pumps here with new chargers. So this is pretty darn cool. So I've used these and all of them are working. I mean, Chem-power, probably the most reliable chargers I've ever used because they always work. That was cool and interesting. I actually enjoyed that a lot. And what is really cool is I was able to visit as many as 8 different charging stations spanning from the west side to the east side of Oslo, and also that charging station close to the city center in just a few hours. And I could have included many more charging stations, but I didn't want to just, you know, visit 6, 7 different type of recharge charging stations or only do the Circle K. I wanted to do it a little bit randomly, just choose one here, one over there, to give you guys a real picture of, well, the charging situation in and around Oslo. And I also have to say that I could have probably checked the, you know, chargers more thoroughly, gone into the different apps, but I haven't used some of these apps in a while, and I wasn't able to find my login quickly, and we're losing daylight because it's now 3 o'clock and it's dark outside. So I wanted to do this with daylight to make this video a little bit more pleasant. So just bear that in mind, guys. I looked at the chargers, and it's easy often to see, you know, if a light's out, if the charger is red, if there's tape on the charger, and also if it's not working in the app. But I may have missed some of chargers that were not working. We really don't know. So let me know down below if you want me to make a really thorough one and go through it, maybe test some of these chargers. But, you know, these chargers were often from Chem-power and Hypertronics and also Delta. And in my opinion, these 3 brands are often the most reliable, and also the Trinity chargers we saw are the most reliable chargers. The ones I've had problems with here in Norway are the ABB chargers. And also my friend Kyle from Out of Spec Reviews actually made a video of the charging situation in the United States and also the chargers in the cold, where it's really terrible. It really inspired me to make this video to show you guys not only the bad side, so you guys not only see the bad side of how unreliable it can be other places, but actually to show you guys that after a few years of, you know, heavy EV usage here in Norway, all of these kinks and all of these chargers have they've been able to work out the problems. And it's not the coldest today, around 0 degrees Celsius, but out of the 59 different chargers we were able to check out at 8 different charging stations, only 2 of them did not work. And only actually it's like it's only a half one, because it was the Delta charger actually right over here at this Coppola charger where we started the video. And one of them, these chargers actually has 4 charging points, but you can only use 2 at a time. So one of the Chatamo charging points was not working, but the CCS on the same module is actually working. So that's only half a charger not working. So 1.5 out of 59. And these were total random, right? I didn't plan any of this. I was like, I want to go here, I want to go there. And, you know, depending on the day and the day of week and the time of day, the situation may be different. Maybe another day all were working. Maybe you could go visit these chargers, and another day 5 of them not working. But in my experience, the past year, a lot of these kinks with these chargers not working have really been working out. And also, you know, there's an average of 7.4 chargers at these charging stations we visited. And that means, like, if 1 charger's out, even if 2 chargers is out, you still have a lot of capacity left. And that's what's been happening in the past years. You know, I started testing EVs about 2.5 years ago, and a lot of these charging stations maybe only had like 1 or 2 chargers. Now a lot of them have been upgraded to like these Kempower charging stations, like 4 or 8, and also these Delta and Hypertronics Alpatronics chargers, where you maybe had 1 dispenser before. Now you have 1 dispenser with 2 charging points. So yeah, many more chargers, more options, higher speeds, and also much higher reliability. So yeah, and also the last thing here, again, this was, you know, done on a Friday, the day before New Year's, in the middle of the day, on what would be a typical average day throughout the year, because the past week here in Christmas has been so busy around. But the occupancy was 24 out of 59 chargers were occupied. So that is more than 50% vacancy. Half of the chargers were actually vacant. So it was only 1 charging station. That was the one in the city center of Oslo, in Kiellandsplass, where I would have to queue up, but I could just go 5 minutes to a different charging station if I wanted. And also at the Circle K in Furuset, only 1 of the Circle K chargers were vacant, and also 1 of the recharge chargers were vacant, but still vacancy. So out of all the 8 charging stations, only 1 of them I would have to queue up. So this is to show you guys, you know, who may be a little bit anti-EV or a little bit, you know, pessimistic in your country, seeing the electric, the DC charging situation. Here, it is so easy, because as I showed you guys today, yeah, no issues at all. 1 charging station we had to wait because, well, it is actually a very busy charging station there, so they could, you know, do it expanding that. But that's, you know, in the middle of Oslo. Once you get out of the city on the travel corridors, it is much, much better. And they're expanding capacity everywhere. So check out, you know, my last, or probably the next video, which is the Motorway range test on this car. I'm showing you guys, you know, the upgraded recharge charging station at Esso in Gardermoen. They went from like having 4 charging points now to having like, how many, like 12 or 16? I mean, it's just insane. Like, they just quadrupled the capacity. So guys, that was today's video. I really hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, please drop me a thumbs up down below, and for more car content, as always, please subscribe. See you guys later, and goodbye.